If you're not where you want to be in life, it's okay, but you need to know that you're not where you want to be. What's going on, everybody? I am Andrew Murray, and this is the Journey Together, giving you insight on one's self journey. And today we're going to be talking about self-awareness and why it's important and a few steps you can take to better enhance your self-awareness process. And so what exactly is self-awareness? Well, self-awareness is a conscious state of being aware of your character, your desires, your motives, and your intentions. It's very important that you self-assess very often because these things often change, right? And it's very important because you get to influence the desired outcome in which you want your life to be. It helps you become better at decision making. It helps you become better at critical thinking, right? And so these things wrap around your life so much because oftentimes what I find out, and I've done this myself before when I wasn't intentionally building my self-awareness, is that I wouldn't check on myself day to day, right? Or week to week. I would actually do it monthly, if not bi-monthly. Check on where I am and what I'm doing. And having self-awareness is understanding what you're doing and why you're doing it, right? And a lot of times people can get on autopilot and not really assess what they're doing in life. The prime reason why resolutions don't work out. Every time the new year comes, you can set a goal, but you don't self-assess to see what's working for you, what's not working for you, any adjustments that you need to make. And so when you don't self-assess on a daily basis, it really stresses you out unintentionally because you don't know what you're doing or why you're doing it. You don't know why something isn't working or why something is working. I got 2 steps you can take to help better your self-awareness, and that's simply going to be meditation and identifying your core values. And so meditation, as you all know, as cliche as it could sound, it is hugely important into your self journey and your self-awareness process. Main reason being is because when you meditate, when you devote time to decluttering your brain, you get to identify what a dominant thought may be. And so typically, for me, I wake up every morning at 3 o'clock in the morning. And for me, I talk to God and I read my Bible. But for you, it could look, anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes as a beginner and just start to declutter your brain. And I guarantee you the most dominant thought is going to rush right to the top of your brain and say, this is what you're thinking about. And whatever that is, work that through. Identify the best outcome, worst outcome, right? Because when you, for example, for me, one of my dominant thoughts right now is buying a house. The best outcome is I buy a house this year. The worst outcome is I don't buy a house this year, right? And so, again, having that self-awareness gives you the ability to influence the outcome. And so what I do in the morning is as I talk that through, I'm able to identify what puts me in the best position to buy a house this year. Whether it's a budget, talking to a realtor, pay off debt, raising my credit, things like that are going to put me in the best possible position to have me achieve that goal. Now, what happens is if you don't have self-awareness, and let's say I just wanted to buy a house this year, and I don't evaluate it on a weekly basis or on a daily basis, 2 months can go by and I didn't start a budget. So now I'm behind on the savings I need for closing costs, moving, right? And all these things I need to know. I didn't talk to a realtor yet. I'm not pre-approved yet. And so what's going to happen is you're going to want to have this goal achieved, but you're not going to be able to achieve it. And you're not going to know why because you aren't self-assessing. You have no self-awareness. And so whatever that New Year's resolution goal is for you, I really need you or urge you to take time in the morning because you need to plan your day out to attack. Take time in the morning, have 3 to 5 minutes to yourself, declutter your brain, and identify what exactly it is you want, and then go out and chase it. Number 2, identifying your core values. Super important because this is what's going to allow you to better identify the habits you need to create, identifies the lifestyle that you're actually wanting to create, right? And so for me, to give you the top 3 on my list is going to be my spiritual life, my family, and number 3 is going to be to build a legacy for future generations. And so knowing those 3 allows me to identify what I need to get done. So if I'm relaxing on the couch, I know I'm not spending time spiritually If it's with my family, then great. But if it's by myself, then it could be different, especially if it's not planned leisure time. And so if I'm playing the video games, or if I'm doing things outside of my priority list, outside my core values, I'm not really living the life that I want to live. And this happens a lot. Many people, again, on autopilot, don't really list their core values. So they're willing to sacrifice anything for temporary pleasure, which is, again, in the long haul of things, which leads to depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem, because you aren't really being who you want to be. And so when it comes to identifying your core values, list out what's most important to you in your life right now. Even if that's one thing, even if it's one thing, just identify it and label it. So that way, when it comes to decision making, as we talked about before, having better self-awareness makes you better at decision making. When you identify your core values, you can be better at decision making because your decisions will be based off of the core values, right? So when I make a decision to buy a home, it is from my family. When I make a decision to really dive into my spirituality, it's for my spiritual life, right? And so when it comes into building a legacy for future generations for me, it comes down into identifying different streams of revenue, getting therapy sessions, learning more about myself, breaking generational habits that need to be broken, and keeping those which are beneficial to our family for the past few generations. So truly identify your core values. Typically, I like to see 3. You can have anywhere from 5 to 10. That's fine. But really 3 to 5 is what the goal should be for now. And so again, I want to really point to the importance of self-awareness. It's going to give you the power to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. If you're not where you want to be in life, it's okay. But you need to know that you're not where you want to be. Right? I'll say it again. If you're not where you want to be in life, it's okay. But you need to know that you're not where you want to be. Don't get on autopilot and just forget every goal you want to achieve. And then 5 years goes on and you don't have what you want. And now you're frustrated at yourself. And now you're playing victim when you do have the power to control the desired outcome. So get some self-awareness. Take time to identify, again, your core values, and just meditate and declutter your brain in the morning and write down that one dominant thought you need to really think out. So this is the journey together. Write down below in the comments what that most predominant thought for you may be, and I'll see you next time.